and let's go to the next slide, just so we have the sum up slide. A lot of people seem to look at their alumni, their team, as part of the company. Like, in fact, interestingly, with Andrea, her firm, XG Ventures, means ex-Googlers. Is literally her brand is based upon, hey, a lot of smart people built this, what's going to be a $1 trillion company that changed the world. And the being an alumni of it and having had the experience of building that juggernaut,
that gets embedded in your DNA, right?
Yeah.
And there are certain traits and factors, like we look at over 43 different traits, and we can look at a group of people and identify what makes them unique, for example. What makes an amazing business analyst at Toyota, right? Based on performance and what traits are common, and then we can then help our clients hire against what a best performing business analyst is, for example.
So when they're in the hiring process, they send them a link and say, take this quiz?
So it just becomes part of the hiring process because the quiz is really fun, even without us having to peddle it or your manager or CEO asking you to take the fucking survey, right? There's like millions of people taking it, which was really the biggest challenge to solve for.
Do you see that pool getting big enough that you're going to be selling not just the software, but access to that pool of people who have opted into taking a psychographic survey? So if you have 1 million folks in the workforce in the United States, or you've had 10 million, whatever you have now.
Yeah.
What do you have now in the United States in terms of people who've taken?
A little over 2 million.
Right. So that might be
a lot of it over the last year.
In terms of professional organizations, that might be 4% of the workforce or something in the United States.
Probably.
You actually could have a talent pool there on the way, like AngelList has built one.
So that's we're owned by StepStone and Axel Springer, who acquired us about 2.5 years ago, which is like an odd acquiring company because they're very German. But as I talk to more founders, I think it's been a pretty rare and unique opportunity where they've really powered our original vision around Good.Co. And at the time, it's always bittersweet as a founder to be acquired, right? But investors to make money, employees did. But really, I realize now, looking backwards, it's easy to connect the dots, but it was probably the best route for Good.Co to achieve its vision, and that's what they're powering. And they own the largest job board in 23 different countries. So what we're doing now is integrating with their job board so people can then find jobs, not just based on skills, but their culture fit to people and companies. So
tell me about
Apple.
Scale. What is the ideal Apple employee's characteristics, or the ideal Google or Facebook's?
There's no such thing, right? I mean,
Facebook's is just being amoral, right? Like just not caring about the ramifications of anything you do. That's what you're telling me backstage, right?
Well, kind of. We got a few angry calls when we did an analysis of Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Google employees.
The executives called you?
Yeah, I mean.
Because they got a couple of angry calls. These are not our people. Our people are good people.
And it's not saying anything negative. It just says like your managers are not very innovative. In fact, turns out managers at Microsoft are far more innovative, especially women managers, right? They tend to be the biggest risk takers and sort of create the most value in a company.
Wow.
And we can assess all of this because we have all this data that we can then mash up with functional information and sort of psychographics and say all these things. But companies are spending millions of dollars building their employer brand.
Right.
But what we're finding out from the bottom up, down in the trenches, people's experiences every day when they take these quizzes is different than how they're projecting themselves. That's why I built Good.Co.
That's fascinating.